Today, I'm going to dive into a term that you might have heard before, burying the lead. Ooh, that sounds very dramatic, doesn't it? I am not going to be talking about how to bury bodies or some morbid thing like that. No, this is a classic journalism term that I'm going to demystify for you today. And we're going to talk about what it means, where it comes from, and how it relates to UX. So let's dive right in. Like I said, the term bury the lead comes from journalism, and lead is often spelled Lead, or if you want to be true to the way real journalists spell it, they spell it Lede, bury the lead. And what it means is put the most important information at the very top, at the very beginning. You're going to cut the fluff, you're going to cut the context, and you're going to get right to the point talking about what is most important. If reporters are burying the lead, that means that they are putting the most important information somewhere down in their story, not at the very top. And this is a huge no-no. Why? Because you want somebody who is reading a newspaper article to get the most important information up first, because they might not have time to read the whole article. People ain't got time for that shit anymore. So they might not actually get to the most important part of your story if it's buried down in. So this is why you do not want to bury the lead. Have the most important information front and center at the top. When it comes to user experience or websites or apps, when you bury the lead, that means you are hiding the most important information or action down into the app. And this is not what you want to do. You want it to be front and center and displayed prominently, because that's the most important thing that a user should do. Some examples of this is when a company buries, let's say, what they do, and that is what a person is coming to the website to find out. When you bury that or hide it in places users don't expect to find it, you are burying the lead. Another example is the sign-up page might be really important to your company, but the user doesn't know where to find it because you've buried the lead. Let's switch this to your professional work, like within your company or your organization. Let's say you're a user experience researcher. I have seen this a lot, and this is why I'm going to talk about it. You are a researcher and you want to present your findings. So what do you start with? You talk about your process. You talk about the methodology. Well, guess what? No one gives a shit about that stuff. What? Ah. Don't start with the method and the process. You are burying the lead. Instead, start with the most insightful information that you found from your research. This is what you should be starting with when you're presenting your work. This is the lead. And it's kind of known as an executive summary. Have you heard that term? If you would like me to break down how to build a strong executive summary, let me know in a comment. I'd be happy to do a video on creating executive summaries or that flow within a report so that you are not burying the lead. Okay, so let's get back to this burying the lead idea. When you are doing this, you are suppressing important information and you're making the user work too hard. Perhaps you've heard of the phrase from Steve Krug, "Don't make me think." It's the same thing. Don't make getting the most important information too hard for the user to do. And let's be real for a second. If it's really hard to find or use, users are going to bounce. They're just going to leave your stuff. And if they have to hunt and peck for the things that they need, you're making them work too hard. So how do you, as a UX pro, help to not bury the lead? Well, I have a few tactics to share with you. One is prioritize the key information and make sure that is accessible, usually right at the top. Number two, be clear but not clever. Use terms that people understand. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a website, people are using cultural references I don't understand or clever terms. This is not good. don't do this because it alienates your user. Okay, woo. Just be clear in what you're trying to communicate. Third, design your website for scanning. Use bullets, use headlines, use visuals so that people can easily scan your site. This helps in that information hierarchy. People aren't reading all your stuff. People do not have time to sit down and read a full newspaper like they did in the good old days. So you want to present your information in an easy way to consume, and that's often short snippets and consumable bits. And then finally, make sure you are highlighting that CTA. Let users know the main action that they should take on your website. Hide it from them. Nobody wants to play this cat and mouse game. Make it easy. Think of it this way, and there is even a test for this. If a user is coming to your page, do they know within 5 seconds the main point of your page? If not, you might be burying the lead. So to sum it up, if you're building some sort of experience, a website or an app, writing content, designing something, don't bury the lead. Make it easy and obvious for your user to find what matters the most. So if you like today's installment of What the, give me a like and let me know. And let me know what other topics I should explore in future episodes. So the next one I'm going to break down is a pretty interesting one, and that is mental models. Maybe you've heard that term. Maybe you're not quite sure what that means or where it comes from. See you over there at the next installment of What the. Bye.